Hi everyone, Sharabin here, and this is my part 3 of my Pokemon Black and White rewrite. So without further ado, let's dive in. Things pretty much stay on the cannon course for a while, with Hilbert's egg hatching into Scraggy as well, and eventually leading to him catching it, meaning Hilbert now is team up to 4 Pokemon. The next big event is that when they gang travel through the forest, they still encounter Sewaddle. However, this time it's him that will get the more character development with them. It also ends up with them meeting Berg, and in the end, Sewaddle decides to join Hilda's team. Our hero arrives in Castelia City. However, while walking around, they get a call from Professor Juniper telling them to meet her at the Pokemon Center. Once they get there, they meet up with Professor Juniper. However, they also see another person with her. That being none other than Looker of the International Police. Ash agrees to Looker and introduces him to Hilbert and Hilda, but then Looker explains that he's here on an urgent mission. Team Rocket have appeared and is gonna be attempting to raid the Relic Castle. Not sure what it is, Professor Juniper started explaining the lore about the Relic Castle and about an ancient Unova legend. Long ago, when the Unova was about to endure a fearful ice age, it was said that a powerful Volcarona showed up and served as the region's sun. In immense power and light, earning the title of the Sunbringer. Once the region has been cleared and the sun has returned, the Sunbringer was granted as a hero and was built an ancient castle in the nearby desert. It's said that it still lay dormant in that region, waiting for the day when the Unova region is going to acquire its sun once again. And Looker fears that Team Rocket is going to attempt to capture the Sunbringer. Not wanting to allow that to happen, Ash, Hilbert, and Hilda are motivated to help, and they all head towards the Relic Castle. Once there, the place is already crawling with Team Rocket grunts. And deep inside the temple, we see Jesse, James, and Meowth alongside Giovanni as they approach the Sunbringer. Giovanni explained to them the legend and said that now Volcarona is going to become the sun that's going to help Team Rocket take over the world. Using the dream particle that the trio had gathered from the dream jar, they use it on Volcarona to drain it of its energy, and eventually it turned to a darker color and then fully under Giovanni's control. Giovanni ordered Volcarona to immediately break out of here and start terrorizing Castelia City, showing the Unova region the power of Team Rocket. Giovanni follows after Volcarona as Jesse and Camilla exit the Relic Castle. They run into Ash and the gang as they immediately tell the twerp that they are too late and Team Rocket's plan have already started. The gang notice the fires nearby in Castelia City and they immediately rush back in order to get the situation under control. In Castelia City, Volcarona is raining over the city, launching its fire all over the place, while Team Rocket runs around all over the place, taking down anyone that opposes them. However, all of a sudden, Team Plasma shows up and immediately starts battling Team Rocket, saying that Team Rocket is exact opposite of what they stand for and they are not going to allow it. So the grunts begin to battle one another as Ash and the gang sees that they knows that they're gonna have to get past all the grunts to get to Volcarona. As Ash battles a few of the grunts with Pikachu, they eventually overwhelm him. However, all of a sudden, a powerful flamethrower shows up and it comes from none other than a Darmanitan. Confused, wondering who his trainer is, he then hears a voice saying that it's not his Pokemon, but just a friend. That voice belongs to none other than N. N explained that he heard the Sunbringer's call for distress and not going to allow such horrible people to do what they want. While Ash is reluctant, he knows that he can't win this battle alone, so he and N team up and manage to take on the grunts he's facing just now. With the entire region at stake, Ash, Hilbert, and Hilda team up with Team Plasma and N in order to combat Team Rocket. The grunts battle is all to Team Rocket grunts. Hilbert and Hilda battle against JC and James, using Rockland the Lullaby against Woobat and James' newly caught Yawmask. A bit further away, N and Darmanitan are battling together and taking on Metori alongside a Golbat. And lastly, Ash immediately rushes towards Giovanni and battles Volcarona alongside Pikachu. However, Ash quickly realized that Volcarona didn't get the title the Sunbringer for nothing. Its fire attack is so powerful, it feels like the sun itself is raining down his wrath upon Pikachu. Pikachu does it best, but it's clear that Pikachu is outmatched. However, just then, the black stone that Ash had in his bag suddenly arrives out of nowhere and hovers right over Pikachu, before sending out a giant wave of blue lightning. The entire area is suddenly covered by electric blue lightning, and they seem to be empowering Pikachu at the same time starting to weaken the control Giovanni has over Volcarona. Using the electricity in the air, Pikachu is able to deliver powerful electric attack as Volcarona struggles to keep up. When it is all over, Volcarona had managed to break free from Giovanni's control, and Giovanni looked around seeing that all his grunts as well as his teams had been defeated, and he immediately called for a full-on retreat. The stone immediately floats back to Ash wondering how in the world this stone was able to do it. The Team Plasma Ground have also started retreating, but then we also see N slowly walking away, saying that he had finally found the one whose ideal will rival his truth. As Hilbert and Hilda join back with Ash, Ash asks Volcarona if it's okay. Volcarona gives a quiet nod, however just then, a golden light starts surrounding it, and Volcarona is sealed up inside a golden cocoon. Ash wonders if Volcarona is okay, however, Volcarona then sends out a golden wave towards Ash, and he hears Volcarona's voice through telepathy. Volcarona explains to Ash that the amount of energy it used to get out of Team Rocket's control and the amount of energy Team Rocket had to control had not rendered Volcarona weakened, and it will not be able to sustain itself much longer in its current form. But he also reveals that thanks to ancient time, Volcarona had the ability to sense the inconstant, and he knows that soon an event that going to shape the entire universe is going to take place, and he believes Ash had the ability to stop it with the power of Zekrom. Ash is not sure what exactly the power of Zekrom means, but Volcarona explains that he wishes to aid Ash in his quest and any other endeavor he's embarking on. So Volcarona asks Ash if he can join him on his team, and Ash is more than happy to accept. And with that, the cocoon starts to break and out crawls the Volcarona. However, it's now a smaller Pokemon, Larvesta. Using its last power it has, it reveals that in order to sustain itself, it needed to convert to a form that would take less energy, so a pre-evolved form was the best option. And it's more than happy to add Larvesta to the team, and with that, Ash now has his third Unova Pokemon. Later, Ash and the gang meet Professor Juniper and Looker at the Pokemon Center as they talk about the situation that happened. The thing that surprised them the most was that Team Plasma actually decided to join forces with them to stop Team Rocket, which is confusing since in other reports they have been shown to attack and attempt to harm Pokemon, but now they fought against villains which use Pokemon to harm people. This caused a lot of confusion in the group because it started to become unclear if Team Plasma are good guys or if they really are bad guys. Looker said that he is going to look closer into it and see what Team Plasma's true goal truly lies. Later on, Ash explained to Rudy Juniper what happened with the stone, and he's surprised to hear that, but she's still quite unsure. But she tells that her father, Professor Cedric Juniper, might know more, and if they happen to see each other, he should tell him about the stone and see if he knows more. A few days after the Team Rocket attack on the city, Ash and the gang travel and eventually get to the Castelia gym to challenge Hilbert to a battle. However, once they get there, Hilbert actually surprises Ash and actually wishes to battle first. Being quite a surprise since in the previous battles, Ash had always gone first, but Hilbert said that he wanted to show that he can win without having Ash battling first. Ash, respecting that choice, agreed to it, and with that, the battle between Hilbert and Berg begins. Berg sends in Dwebble as Hilbert starts presenting against Scraggy. Having done some battle training with Ash's other Pokemon, Scraggy has gotten some battle experience. Unfortunately, Dwebble is far more strong and is way more knowledgeable when it comes to combat. So after a few hits, eventually Scraggy falls, meaning Hilbert had lost his first Pokemon. Being more resolute than before, Hilbert takes calm and sends in Rufflet as the next choice. This actually becomes better, since Rufflet can easily outspeed Dwebble and deliver some good hits. And eventually Rufflet is able to take Dwebble out, even the score out. Berg in his Whirlipede, and it immediately becomes a battle of speed. While both of them are fast, Rufflet had the advantage of being able to fly. And even if your Whirlipede can jump up in the air, it cannot move around while up there. So that gives Rufflet the ability to immediately delivering attacks far easier than Whirlipede does. So eventually it comes down to a collision between Steamroller and Pluck, and it actually causes in a double knockout. And so they send in the last Pokemon, with Berg going for Leavanny as Hilbert is in Tepig. This battle is back and forth. Eventually it comes down to a clash between Hyper Beam and Ember. However, with its strong drive, the Ember is actually transformed into a flamethrower. So it's able to break through the Hyper Beam and actually lands Leavanny, causing him to get knocked out. Meaning that Hilbert has finally gotten his third gym badge. The following day is now Ash's turn to battle, and Ash starts presenting as Snivy. However, Berg decides to go in for a different Pokemon in Karrablast. The battle between the two is ferocious. While Snivy is calm and collected, Karrablast is ferocious and wild. Even attract doesn't work since Karrablast is actually a female. However, in the end, the calm style wins, and Snivy is able to take down Karrablast relatively easily. Then Berg sending his second Pokemon Whirlipede, and with Snivy already being started from battling Karrablast, Snivy falls quickly. That is actually what surprises everyone except in Larvesta. And the battle immediately takes a shift. While Larvesta doesn't have the same amount of power as it did before, it's still a powerful Pokemon and has the type advantage. So in the end, a powerful Fire Spin is able to trap Whirlipede and eventually take it out. Next, Berg calls in Leavanny, and the battle between the bug types is immediately a noticeable change. While Larvesta has the type advantage, Leavanny has the speed and power. as well as having Protect to block against the more ferocious fire type attacks. So in the end, Leavanny is the one who comes out on top. With that, it comes down to a last fight between Leavanny and Pikachu. And just like in canon, Pikachu wins, meaning Ash getting his first gym back. And with all their objectives done in the city, they immediately move along towards their next destination. And that will be all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you like this. And I'll see you all in part 4. Bye!